Let me ask you something. Have you ever wished you had more control over your habits, your time, or your choices? Have you ever said to yourself, "If only I had more self-discipline, my life would be better"? Many people think this way, and often, when they imagine self-discipline, they picture something heavy. They see it as a strict routine, a life without pleasure, a long list of rules. But what if self-discipline is not about taking joy away? What if it's about giving joy a real place to grow? Hello, my dear friend. Welcome to Daily English Podcast. This is Walter. I'm so grateful you're here with me today, listening, practicing, and giving yourself this quiet moment. Today, we're exploring something simple but powerful: self-discipline. Now, before we dive deeper, I want you to notice how the word discipline feels in your body. For some, it brings tension. For others, it sounds almost scary, like punishment. That's because many of us learn to connect discipline with control or with being told what not to do. But I want to invite you to see it differently. Self-discipline is not about punishing yourself. It's not about saying no to every pleasure or locking yourself away from life. Instead, it's about saying yes. Yes to what matters most. Yes to the life you want to build. Yes to your own values and long-term goals. Think of it like a compass. If you're walking in the forest without a compass, you may enjoy the trees and birds, but after some time, you realize you've been walking in circles. A compass doesn't make the walk easy, but it gives you direction. Self-discipline is like that. It doesn't remove effort, but it makes sure your effort is leading somewhere meaningful. And here's something many people don't realize. Self-discipline isn't something you're born with. It's not an inner gift that some lucky people have while others do not. No, it's a skill, a muscle you can train, a practice you can grow stronger at. Just as you learn to speak English one word at a time, or learn to play a song one note at a time, you learn discipline by practicing small choices every day. That's the beauty of it. Each small act of discipline is like placing a stone on the path you want to walk. One stone alone doesn't take you far, but with time, stone after stone, you create a road that carries you forward. In the next parts of this episode, we'll explore what self-discipline really means in daily life. We'll see how it works in small decisions, why it matters so much for your future, and how you can build it without fear or pressure. My hope is that by the end, you'll feel lighter, clearer, and more confident in your ability to guide your own steps. When you hear the word discipline, maybe you imagine something big. You might think of an athlete training every day for years. You might picture a student studying late into the night for an important exam. You might think of a person building a company with no breaks. These images are powerful, but here's the truth. Self-discipline begins in smaller, quieter ways. Each day, you make hundreds of small choices. When to wake up, what to eat, how much time to spend on your phone, whether to speak kindly to yourself or criticize yourself, whether to take a short walk or stay seated, whether to start now or delay for later. Each decision might feel small, but together they shape the path of your life. Discipline is the ability to pause, think, and choose with intention. It's not about saying no to everything. It's about saying, "Not right now because I want something better later." For example, imagine you want to improve your English. Discipline doesn't mean locking yourself in a room for hours. It doesn't mean memorizing hundreds of words until your head hurts. It means choosing 30 minutes of focus, even on days when you feel tired. It means turning off distractions, sitting down, and practicing with patience. This small act, repeated over time, becomes powerful. One helpful step is to decide before the moment arrives. If you plan your study time, or your workout time, or your bedtime, then when the choice appears, it's easier. You don't argue with yourself. You don't waste energy deciding again and again. You already know the plan and you simply follow it. Start with something small. Pick one habit that matters to you. Reading, exercising, meditating, journaling, or even just drinking more water. Choose when and how you'll do it. Keep the promise to yourself. Each time you follow through, even if it's only 5 minutes, you're training your mind. You're proving to yourself that you can do it. With practice, these small decisions grow into stronger habits, and with habits, you no longer need as much willpower. The choice becomes automatic. That's when discipline feels less like a fight and more like a friend. Let's take a moment to look at why self-discipline truly matters. Why is this skill so important for you, for me, for anyone who wants to live with purpose? The answer is simple. Your life is not made from 1 or 2 big decisions. It's made from small, repeated actions. The things you do every day, often without thinking, shape your health, your relationships, your learning, and your future. In other words, your habits become your life. If your habits are weak, you may feel like life is slipping away. You might notice yourself reaching for your phone every time you feel bored. You might delay important tasks until the very last moment. You might tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow." But tomorrow keeps moving further away. This cycle creates frustration and even a loss of self-trust. Now, think of what happens when discipline becomes part of your life. You begin to act not from impulse, but from intention. Instead of scrolling endlessly, you close the screen and go for a walk. Instead of waiting until tomorrow, you open the book today. Instead of eating for comfort, you eat for energy. These small shifts bring a sense of balance. They make you feel stronger and more in control. One of the deepest gifts of discipline is the ability to delay gratification. That phrase may sound heavy, but it's very simple. It means choosing a better reward later instead of taking a smaller one now. Imagine you want to buy something expensive. Without discipline, you might spend your money quickly on smaller things and the dream item stays far away. With discipline, you wait, save, and finally buy the thing that truly matters. That choice brings more joy than 10 smaller, quicker purchases ever could. The same is true with your body. Eating fast food brings quick comfort. Cooking a healthy meal takes effort, but it fuels you for years. Watching television late into the night may feel fun now, but sleeping early gives you focus, energy, and peace tomorrow. Each decision shapes your long-term well-being. And here's the important truth. Everyone struggles with this. You're not alone. Every human fights the pull of comfort, the desire for distraction, the habit of delay. Sometimes you'll win the fight, sometimes you'll lose. But losing once doesn't mean you're weak. It simply means you're human. The key is consistency, not perfection. When you slip, you can stand up again. When you break a habit, you can restart it. When you feel lost, you can remember your compass. That is the real power of discipline. It gives you a second chance, again and again. So why does it matter? Because without it, life becomes random. With it, life becomes intentional. You move from drifting to directing, and with each intentional step, you build confidence. You trust yourself. And that trust is one of the strongest feelings a human can carry. We've seen why discipline matters. Now let's go a little deeper. Many people misunderstand this skill. They believe it means endless control, a strict life where joy disappears. They see discipline as the opposite of freedom. But here's the quiet truth. Real discipline creates freedom. Think about money. When you spend without thinking, it feels free in the moment. You buy what you want, whenever you want. But soon, the bills arrive, debt grows, and suddenly you feel trapped. The freedom was an illusion. True freedom comes when you manage your money with care. When you save, plan, and spend with intention, you create real options for yourself. You can travel, you can invest, you can give. That's freedom born from discipline. The same applies to time. If you spend hours each day without awareness, you may feel busy, even overwhelmed, yet empty. But when you discipline your time, when you choose how to use it, you create space. You finish your work earlier, and then you can truly rest. You stop rushing and life feels calmer. That's freedom too. Another misunderstanding is the idea that discipline is about saying no all the time. But discipline is not endless denial. It's about choosing when to say yes. Yes to health. Yes to learning. Yes to love, growth, and presence. If you say yes to everything that appears, your yes loses power. Discipline protects your yes. And remember this, rest is part of discipline. True discipline includes recovery. Sleep, silence, and play are not wasted hours. They're fuel. Without them, your focus fades. Your energy disappears. So if you think discipline means never stopping, you're mistaken. Discipline means stopping when it's wise. It means balancing effort with renewal. Another gentle truth is this: discipline doesn't have to feel hard all the time. At first, it may take effort, but over time, habits grow stronger. What once felt difficult becomes natural. Just like learning English, at first, each word is a challenge, but later, sentences flow more easily. Discipline works in the same way. So if you fear discipline, imagining it as a cage, I invite you to see it as a key that unlocks freedom with money, time, health, and even relationships. A key that gives you the ability to live more intentionally, not less. Now that we've cleared away some myths, let's talk about practice. How do you build self-discipline in real life? First, set clear goals. Vague dreams fade quickly, but clear goals guide you forward. Write them down. Be specific. Do you want to study English 20 minutes every day? Do you want to walk 3 times a week? Do you want to save a certain amount of money each month? Clear goals make discipline easier. Second, create routines. Routines reduce decision-making. If you wake up at the same time, study at the same time, or exercise at the same time, your body and mind begin to expect it. You don't ask, "Should I do this now?" You simply do it. Third, track your progress. Keep a journal, mark a calendar, note down your small victories. This is important because progress often feels invisible, but when you see it on paper, you feel proud. That pride fuels more action. Fourth, find support. Share your promise with a friend, a family member, or even an online community. When others know your goal, you feel more accountable. And when you succeed, you also get to celebrate with them. And here's something most people forget: be kind to yourself. Self-discipline doesn't mean 0 mistakes. It means you return after mistakes. You fall, you rise, you pause, you continue. Self-compassion is the ground that discipline grows on. You can protect your focus by removing distractions before you start. Turn off notifications, put your phone in another room, or clear your desk. You can protect your energy by respecting your limits. Rest when you're tired, eat when you're hungry, breathe when you feel tense. These "you can" boundaries are important because discipline without kindness becomes burnout. But discipline with compassion becomes strength. So don't see discipline as a fight against yourself. See it as a gentle agreement with yourself. You're not forcing, you're guiding. You're not punishing, you're supporting. And with time, these practices build into a steady rhythm of life. Let's bring everything together. Self-discipline is not punishment. It's not about living without joy. It's not about saying no forever. It's about choosing yes carefully, yes with intention, yes to the things that matter most. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's a skill, just like language or music. You build it step by step, through practice, through small choices repeated again and again. Each decision is like a stone placed on the path you want to walk. Soon, the path becomes clear. When you live with discipline, you build habits. Those habits create confidence. That confidence gives you a sense of control. And with that control comes peace, balance, and freedom. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You only need to be consistent. You only need to return again and again to the path you've chosen. Even small steps count. Even short moments of effort build strength. So as you move forward, practice with compassion. Celebrate your small wins. Learn from your setbacks. Trust that each choice, no matter how small, is shaping your future. And over time, this quiet practice becomes a powerful force in your life. My dear friend, thank you for joining me in this reflection today. I hope these words give you both peace and motivation. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone you care about, or subscribe so you don't miss future reflections. Your support helps me keep creating for you, and I'm truly grateful. Until we meet again, take care, stay steady, and remember, the art of self-discipline is not about deprivation. It's about living with strength, balance, and intention.